Hey, all right. What is up, guys? Alex here from the technoclass.com. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. And today we are doing a experimental video type. It's the Technoclass na YouTube. We're gonna call it the Selfie Show. And gagawin natin is we're gonna compare camera capabilities of phones. Matagal na po natin, we've always wanted to do this camera comparison type of video, but it's hard, it's tough, mahirap pong gawin siya dahil yung video production required to actually compare cameras in video, yung video editing, papasok mo yung camera sample, etc. etc. Medyo matrabaho po siya. It's annoying to edit video on just dragging and dropping pictures of sample shots of phones, and then zooming to exact specific parts of the shot that we want to compare with each other in a video editor. In this format, however, since we're using Google Hangouts, it may not be the most highest resolution type of comparison out there, but I can easily show and scroll towards the part of the shots na gusto natin ipakita sa inyo so that we can easily compare them instead of me having to fumble with video editing software para lang makita nyo kung ano yung difference ng mga camera shots. So basically, ito yung parang experimental type natin of camera comparison that I've always wanted to make for you guys, but just have not had the time to edit the video for. So, ang gagawin natin for today, what we're doing today, this January 25, 2015, we're going to compare some of the, these are not the most recent phones out there. These are phones that I've gotten before that I wanted to compare and took shots, sample shots side by side with them on the tripod. Actually, I put them on tripod, and then tatanggalin ko siya. I'll replace the phone on the tripod with another phone. Use it. So all of these shots were shot on a tripod, and all of these shots were shot exactly the same at the same spot at roughly the same time in about maybe 15-second difference. Just basically, you have a tripod here. I take a picture with the S5, and then I take the S5 out. I put the Xiaomi Mi 3, and I take the Xiaomi Mi 3. I put the what do you call this? The Zenfone 5. I take out the Zenfone 5. I put in the Starmobile Quest. Take out the Starmobile Quest. So all of them are shot in the exact same tripod placement, exact same time. I didn't wait like 3 hours, so the other shots would be dark. And lastly, they were shot at the best quality, quote unquote, that the camera can do. Highest megapixel that the camera can do, all auto. I didn't change any of the settings. So we're comparing automatic modes on all of these cameras. And where applicable, I would pick the highest resolution shot that the camera is able to do. So that's what we are going to compare today. And if this is a successful video, if you like these kinds of videos, so let me know. If you're watching live, let me know what you think. Obviously, hindi siya masyado. This type of video is not necessarily designed to be an interactive much. If you have any questions, I would answer them live. But since live yung actual recording of it, I've decided to let people know na medyo you can watch it live and compare and contrast. So, without further ado, we're gonna start the comparisons. We are going to screen share. So this type of comparison na gagawin natin is gonna be sort of high res. If you want the highest quality, you might want to go buffer the video quite a bit. Maybe when it's not live anymore. And you want to watch it in maybe 720p. I think the highest resolution the Hangouts can do is 720p. It wouldn't matter much because what we're going to do is zoom into these shots in a, what do you call this? We're going to zoom into the shots harder or closer than the 720p can. We're more than 1:1 ratio, more than the 100% crop. So here we are looking at a shot. We're comparing six phones today. The Galaxy S5, I love that phone. It's an awesome camera, one of the literally the best camera you can ever get, barring something else like maybe the Lumia 1020. So the Galaxy S5, amazing camera, 16 megapixels. The only thing I hate about the S5 camera is that the software is a little sluggish. So there are times when you will miss the shot. And this is why I've been using the Xperia Z3 more often, because I like the snappiness of the Xperia Z3 camera, and the Xperia Z3 has a dedicated camera button giving you precious seconds of lead time before you have to, before you will able to be, you're gonna miss the shot. Anyway, what we have here, was not able to take samples of the Xperia Z3 at the time because I shot these maybe in July 15, 2014. So this was about 6 months ago. I was planning on doing this video for a long time. It's very hard to do this on a video editing software. That's why we're doing it live. We have the Galaxy S5 on the left and the Xiaomi Mi 3 on the right. That's our first comparison because those are almost some of the best cameras you can get. Well, the Mi 3 is really good for the price range in this camera category. So here is a sort of bright indoor shot where we have the noontime sun. We have a very hey, what's up, Glenn Sina? Good evening sa'yo, sir. Hopefully magustuhan mo itong type of comparison. Hopefully, bro Glenn Sina, let me know kung malinaw yung camera shots na makikita mo today. Dyan sa video na pinapanood mo. Anyway, this is the Galaxy S5 on the left, and we have the Xiaomi Mi 3 on the right. And as you can see, slightly different point of view here. The Galaxy S5 has a slightly lower field of lower camera angle because of its placement in the actual phone. The camera of the Galaxy S5 is near the middle of the phone. The Xiaomi has it a little bit higher on the phone. And one thing I don't like about the Galaxy S5 camera is it only takes 16:9 widescreen format shot. So as you can see here, the shot is very wide, and normally I prefer pictures to be in a 4:3 ratio or a 3:2 ratio. That's not a major thing, but when you're sharing these kinds of pictures to Facebook, a squarer format is better. And if you want to share it to Instagram, a squarer format, a more square ratio format is better. Samsung wanted something more widescreen because it's probably for they like the widescreen shot, and annoyingly they restrict the camera to 16:9 at its highest resolution, 16 megapixels. If you imagine, kung ma-imagine you guys, if the Galaxy S5 got a 4:3 ratio shot, they might have had the 16 megapixel camera might even give us 18 megapixels because you would have more pixels top and bottom. As you can see here, it's missing quite a lot of the scene that the Mi 3 has seen. But anyway, we're not gonna do that much comparison about yung field of view ng cameras. But so far, we're looking at here is S5 sa kaliwa, S5 on the left, and the the Xiaomi Mi 3 on the right. As you can see, it's almost identical. The camera shots, even the Mi 3 has a 13 megapixel camera, but you won't really see much of a difference in terms of quality. But what we're going to do is zoom in really deep and go into some of the more easier to notice differences. Over here, a little bit of the makikita mo ng konti, a little bit noisier yung sa S5, a bit cleaner yung Mi 3, but then again, you're losing some of the details. As you can see on the Mi 3, you can't see some of the numbers that are printed on this little phone right here. But on the Galaxy S5, the printing on the phone dials are still available. But regardless, this is extremely nitpicking for this camera quality at this point. If you're comparing the thumb drive here, the Imation thumb drive, it's almost, the quality of the shot is almost identical. Sobrang similar na no shots niya. Obviously, siguro ang advantage ng Mi 3 is yung 4:3 ratio ng display ng camera shot niya is you'll see more of the top and bottom of the shot. In this case, you'll see more of the top because almost all of the above this pebble watch here is hindi na nakikita sa S5, but yung sa makikita mo pa. Anyway, marami pa tayong uusapang mga shots and mga telepono. So we'll try and get through this one quickly. So in terms of grading, I would grade the guy in this category siguro mga 9. And I would put in this comparison, I would put the Xiaomi Mi 3 in very close to 9 points in this camera comparison. I don't know if we should move. Here is the let's move on to another shot. It's an outdoor shot with I think around noontime environment. This is very bright. With I think nag-antay lang ako ng cloud because the clouds if you do this at noontime without the clouds, the shadow sa likod nitong vase and yung pineapple would be incredibly dark. So to compare these shots, actually they look almost identical. Yun ang gusto ko sa Mi 3. It's a very, very competent camera na halos tatapat mo sa Galaxy S5. And here we go. We're going to go into the zoomed in shot here. Pretty much good detail all on both of these cameras, even yung background color ng both cameras here, the Xiaomi Mi 3 and the Galaxy S5 are excellent shots. And this is why one of my the Xiaomi Mi 3 is possibly one of my favorite low budget camera phones. And as you can see, yung color yung cement, or what do you call this flower area, planter area. Pareho yung kulay, hindi siya nag-discolor yellow or whatever. It's just the right amount of colors for that shot. Here is yung medyo darker day, mahapon na to, maggagabi na. And you'll see yung difference na. This is dito na makikita yung difference where the Xiaomi Mi 3 is losing the quality because actually may daya yung Galaxy S5 and probably one of the biggest things that has biggest advantages that the Galaxy S5 has is may software siya that is parang software long exposure stabilization, something like that. Ito yung reason why sobrang ganda ng shots ng Galaxy S5 even in the dark because ang gagawin niya, sasabihin niya hold the camera, hold the phone steady, and then mag-ano siya yung parang loading screen siya. May loading screen siya for like 2 to 3 seconds depende kung gaano kadilim. And then ang gagawin niya, it's taking pictures all the time. It's taking sort of a video from when nag-start yung loading screen until natapos yung loading screen. And ang gagawin niya is, yung time na binigay mo sa kanyang yun, i-compile niya yung picture into a more clearer shot. So, essentially parang OIS yung style niya, pero hindi pwede for other OIS type applications. It's used for, it's trying to make a long exposure shot as much as it can. Yun yung style ng Galaxy S5. That's why it can take some really awesome pictures. So as you can see here, dito sa mga medyo lower light na, medyo natatalo na yung Xiaomi Mi 3, especially since wala siya nung ganong software. Wala siyang parang stabilization type device na mag-ano siya, long exposure shot. Quote-unquote long exposure. Hindi po talaga long exposure yun. Because long exposure usually will cause blur. Ang Galaxy S5 will actually fake the long exposure. Will just try to record the video and then lahat ng gumalaw, tatanggalin niya sa shot. But lahat ng hindi gumalaw, i-compile niya into create a very good exposure. So makikita nyo dito, sobrang medyo nagkaka-noise na si Sexypedia. Huwag niyo pong bilhin niya, hindi masyadong maganda yung libro. But as you can see dito sa plaque is definitely madumi na ng konti yung shot ng Xiaomi Mi 3. And that's where the Xiaomi Mi 3 starts to lose its quality. Here is the nighttime shot talaga. As in, this is all artificial light, no light outside. This is just from a, what do you call this? Fluorescent light. Fluorescent lamp sa kwarto. So, dito, this is where the Xiaomi Mi 3 will falter na. As in, malaki na yung difference in terms of quality. As you can see here, may hirap nang basahin yung text sa Xiaomi Mi 3. And then dito sa Galaxy S5, it's still very, very clear. Ganun talaga. Yung style talaga ng Galaxy S5 with its parang fake stabilization or fake long exposure, ang laki ng difference in terms of camera quality. But like I said before, the Xiaomi, even if you didn't have a Galaxy S5 and you just had the Xiaomi Mi 3, this is still some really, really good pictures of the Mi 3. So I think that's what our last comparison for that brand. I don't know if should we go Zenfone. Ang tanong ko dito is I don't know if I should compare the Mi 3 with the Zenfone or the Galaxy S5 with the Zenfone. So let's do Galaxy S5 Zenfone. This is the Zenfone 5, tripod shots and everything. Let's see here. I don't know if I should compare it with that. Let's do it with the Mi3 na lang para medyo may scale tayo. So comparing the Mi 3 versus Zenfone 5. As you can see right here, medyo may difference in terms of color. See the Zenfone. I think the Zenfone has a little bit of what do you call this? Some white balance issues or color issues. But normally, hindi naman ganun kapangit yung shots ng Zenfone. And actually, it's very, very good. Just, some of the points dito, there's a little bit of, actually, some parts dito, Zenfone wins. Zenfone has an 8 megapixel camera. And ang ayaw ko lang dito is it starts to become a little too, ano ba to? Yung may glare dito eh. Yung puti na papel dito starting to make this area right here a little bit blurred or hazy. Hazy is what I want to call it. As you can see right here, the USB thumb drive here is a little bit more hazier. But overall, that is still pretty good. Hindi tayo magreklamo. It's just that the Mi 3 it's almost quite a lot better than the Zenfone in terms of that camera shot. Here we have the potted plant and pineapple shot na kinofare natin. And dito medyo actually yung color difference in terms of what I think the Mi 3 wins in terms of color difference. Makita nyo yung semento dito sa ilalim, the what do you call it? The planter. That's not the color of this planter here. It's actually more white and pebble colors here instead of this sort of yellow cream color. In terms of sharpness, we pretty decent sharp, but let's zoom in a little bit here. 8 megapixel on the Zenfone 5 on the right and 13 megapixel on the Xiaomi Mi 3. I don't know kung nakikita nyo sa online to since we're doing streaming. But if we zoom into one of the petals dito, yeah, let's try zoom in here. There. Yeah. Mapapansin nyo yung difference in terms of yung texture ng petals. Hindi mo na nakikita yung texture ng petals dun sa Zenfone, but on the Mi 3 kita pa rin. Yun na the difference. It's more on the detail, resolved detail ng shot. But overall, hindi mo sila masyado yung pag zoom out mo, hindi naman sila ganun kalayo in terms of quality. Here is the afternoon shot. Dito siguro medyo malapit-lapit pa sila. I don't remember this. Yeah. So, makikita nyo lang dito is blurred si Sexypedia versus the Zenfone. So, Zenfone, the lower quality, still possible, I would say. And here is the low light talaga, walang ilaw. I don't actually win dito. I guess the Zenfone might have won. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so maybe the Zenfone won on low light. I don't know. Maybe magandang software is Zenfone somewhere how they manage that. But looks like it's not bad. It's not bad. I didn't know na Palace is versus the Mi 3 dito sa low light. Obviously, mas panalo pa rin si S5. But that is the comparison between the Mi 3 and the Zenfone. Actually, meron tayo ditong parang low light question, but mamaya ako gagawin yan. We'll do that in a bit. So, ang next natin, na-close pala yung aking folder na gagawin. The next one we have is, so I don't know kung anong gusto niyo request in terms of camera comparison. Yung ano yung meron tayo. Wait lang, nahanap ko yung folder ko. Yeah, Ultimate Camera Show. Yeah. All right, so we have the Galaxy S5, the Mi 3, the Zenfone 5, Starmobile Quest Flare S2, and Starmobile Crystal. Let's see here. Anong comments dito? Let's see. Good evening, Sir Alex. Hope to see the nice shots ng underdog sa group tonight. The Starmobile Crystal. Sabi ni Rino Lizada. Captain Douche Nozzle. Hi, Kuya Alex. Great job on your videos. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks very much. Thanks very much, Sir. Captain Douche Nozzle. And Glencina is obviously. The second size says, mukhang maganda ang pag-usapan ngayon. More on cameras. Well, hopefully. Kasi hindi na, napansin ko kasi hindi masyadong a lot of people hindi ganun ka they say they want a good camera but they never naman nagiging deciding factor or hindi sila nakikinig kung sinasabi mo maganda yung camera nito hindi maganda yung isa yung there was a time talaga na gumawa ako ng review ng Omega HD 2.0 and minura pa ako sa group dahil sabi ko pangit yung camera nun versus Omega HD 1 and hindi nila talaga alam kasi nakakaasar lang hindi nila alam na alam ko kung ano yung mas maganda, pero hindi sila naniniwala. So, yun ang point ko doon na parang, minsan talaga, may tao lang na gusto lang maniwala na maganda yung camera niya. Hindi niya na kailangan malaman kung may mas maganda doon o pangit talaga yung camera niya. May mga tao lang talaga na as long as yung pinaniniwalaan niya, hindi na, ayaw niya nang maniwala sa iba. Parang gano'n. Anyway, so what we have here is the so ito, I guess popular dito is Flare S2. Yung Starmobile Quest actually nasiningit ko lang yan because nire-review ko to at that time. So we have the Starmobile Quest sa kaliwa and Flare S2 sa kanan which was quite popular for the camera at the time. I believe ang sensor ng Flare S2 was the Sony IMX135. Ang comment ko naman doon at the time was mababa yung brightness ng setting ng Flare S2 and hindi naman ganun ka I had some complaints about the Flare S2 but still it's one of the budget phones that gave us I think the 4,000 pesos yung Flare S2 when it was launched it still gave us some of the best shots at for that price range. It's just a little dark as you can see. I don't know if we should compare it with some of the let's compare it with the Zenfone for now para makita niyo yung difference in darkness. Or not the Zenfone. Let's say the Mi3. Wait, that's not Zenfone pa rin yan. Hopefully guys, nakikita nyo yung comparison yung ano. So as you can see here, the Mi3 and of course you can see the watch here and the wallet here is definitely darker. But yun lang naman yung pinaka-complete ko sa kanya. Although, syempre konti pa rin yung it still seems to lack a little bit more detail. So we're gonna compare the Quest versus the Flare S2. As you can see dito, dun sa tape, ano ba to? Sa tape and yung text sa ilalim ng tape, mas malinaw yung Quest in terms of resolve detail. As in this one, blurry na siya And let's go over here. Dito okay pa with the P1 Mini, I think. Dito naman, I guess blurry siya, no? Maybe it could have been a difference in how they resolve the focus. But overall, I would give the win here to the Flare S2 because I prefer the color. The color on the Quest, I've noticed na puro, it seemed to prefer blue. It seemed to prefer bluish, especially dito. Kitang-kita dito. Sobrang kitang-kita. I don't know why umabot dito sa ganito ka blue si Starmobile Quest, but surprisingly, siguro baka dahil yung red flower, akala niya ibang kulay. So, medyo tainted na yung shot na to. It's very hard to compare. But anyway, in terms of detail, here we go. Let's compare detail. I would say the Quest has more detail in terms of the shot here, in terms of the quality of the flower mismo. It seems to retain more texture ng flower and mas softer si Flare S2. But overall, the colors, in terms of colors, I would go with the Flare S2. And dito dumadating na talaga yung kadiliman ng both the Quest and the Flare S2, but we'll see it get darker. Ito kasi this is afternoon shot. And same looks like it should be the same verdict. Mas sharp si Quest, but the Flare S2 has has a more nicer colors. It's definitely less bluer, but sharper nga si Quest. And then what else do we have? This is the low light talaga. And this is talaga. At least si Quest nakapag-adjust sa ilaw eh. But the Flare S2 is definitely very, very dark. Very, very dark. You can still see quite actually the detail on the Flare S2 nandun pa rin. It's just really, really dark. Ang suggestion ko nung in-unbox ko siya or yung ni-review ko sa BTS, I think sabi, itaas nyo yung exposure compensation ng Flare S2 because it's definitely much darker. Let's see here. John Steven. Hi, Kuya Alex. Can I ask the camera comparison between Zenfone 5 and Flare S2? Of course, of course. So let's do this. Here is let's go back to Flare S2 here and go back to Zenfone 5. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right. So here's the Zenfone 5 on the left, Flare S2 on the right. Let's look for telltale signs na kung alin yung better. So here, nawala na yung detail nung battery thing na yun. Mas darker. If I were to be asked, mas tama yung kulay nung Flare S2 dito. Mas orange kasi yun eh. But the Zenfone seems to have gotten the color of this area wrong eh. Seems to have na-influensya siya ng ilaw sa kaliwa, yung papel. But in terms of detail, let's go for detail comparison, resolution here. Looks like the Zenfone got more detailed out of this shot because you can read some of the text. Yeah, so actually one of yung tinitingnan ko lagi dito is this area right here. Area. Kasi madilim talaga yung the Flare S2, and dito at least you can still see the ocean and the Ocean Pro text. Some of the stuff makikita mo pa. This Flare S2 masyado. It's just really it just prefers so much darker shots. Zenfone 5 versus tama ba to? Tama, right? Zenfone 5. Yeah, Zenfone 5. Madilaw pala ng konti si Zenfone. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah. Zenfone 5 versus Flare S2. Seems like the Flare S2 got the colors on this shot better, no? Here's the detail comparison. It looks like the Zenfone had detail in the shot. As you can see, the Flare S2 medyo nag-ano na eh, nawawala ng detail dito sa ano eh. This, yung mga specific, ito, yung picture ng flower, nawawala na ng konti versus that kind of shot. It's close, but I don't know. It's up to you. I would go with the Zenfone, even though medyo madilaw yung kulay niya. Here is the afternoon shot. This is definitely much more comparable. Very interesting, that you would actually have the Zenfone and the Flare S2 together in terms of quality. And let's look at the low light. This is low light na talaga. And dito natalo si Flare S2. Sobrang dilim talaga ng shot ng Flare S2. I don't know why. Yung most camera phones, they'll try to bump their exposure, their ISO, their whatever to compensate for the low light shot. This is literally wala talagang ilaw except yung fluorescent ko. And the Flare S2, mas gusto niya madilim eh. So baka yung tuning talaga ng software. It's definitely fixable. Or baka naman yung lente niya madilim. But that's the Flare S2 versus Galaxy. Sorry, Zenfone 5. Alright, so kung gusto niyo nang makita ang tagapagtanggol ng inaapi, ang camera na tagapagtanggol ng inaaping dual core phones, si Starmobile Crystal. Yan. So saan natin siya ilalaban? Saan natin siya itatapat? Kasi how high can it go? How high can the Starmobile Crystal go? Because ang gusto kong gawin dito sa Selfie Show actually is every show hanapin natin yung panalo, at least for the lower budget ones. Kung si Starmobile Crystal nanalo, except for not beating the S5, ano pa rin, champion si Crystal because dahil siya yung budget phone camera na malakas talaga yung quality. So here is the Starmobile Crystal, and we're just gonna look at the Starmobile Crystal for now para sa inyo, para medyo ma-imagine niyo. Here is the Ocean Pro area, very very clear. Here is the P1 Mini, I believe. And ito yung text. Pretty decent actually. I really like it. This is only 8 megapixels. And then look at this. Mas mapapansin nyo is slightly closer yung ano niya, yung naka-zoom siya ng konti. I think yung what do you call this? I think yung focal length niya is higher. Nasa 20. As you can see here, medyo malinaw siya. Here, makikita niyo pa rin yung text and all that. Pansin ko dito medyo nag-blur na yung background is because baka nakafocus mas maharap. Yung focusing niya siguro is slightly different. Anyway, that's it for that. Ito yung dark shot niya and nakikita talaga. Ito, ang linaw talaga ng ano eh. So, saan siya i-compare? I might even, yung baka kasi magulat kayo, I would even put it against the S5, but you want to put it against the Mi 3 kasi baka masyado ng overreaching. Let's see here. Ano mga comments dito? Okay, sige. Let's do Galaxy S5 because okay, sige. Ito naman. Which of obviously talo ni para lang ma-prove natin. Tingnan natin kung matatalo ni Crystal si Flare S2. So dito I'm gonna say easily say the Crystal wins actually. Here might say the Crystal wins, and I'm probably correct. Yes, very correct. So Flare S2. Okay, here. So Crystal wins. So over Flare S2. Very handily, very easily. Isipin mo naman yung low light. Dito talaga, I don't know why, how, or what. Basta ang linaw talaga ng Crystal. And then Flare S2 is sobrang dilim. So, siguro pag in-adjust mo yung settings of Flare S2, tinaas mo ng konti brightness, but we're not comparing yung shots na in-edit na or binago na yung settings. So here is the Quest versus Crystal. Makita nyo naka-zoom in ng konti talaga si Crystal. Hindi ko binago yung position ng tripod dito. It's just that the lens of the Crystal is slightly farther or slightly zoomed in. Ito actually medyo malapit-lapit, but you can definitely see may detail pa rin si Crystal, and medyo parang nasunog na yung dulo ng flower dito kay Quest. Here is the afternoon shot, madilim na kay Quest pero malinaw-linaw pa rin kay Crystal, and then here is the low light. So sa totoo lang po, if I were to, kung gusto niyo ang pinakamadaling way para malaman kung ano yung best camera sa pagitan ng dalawang phones is comparing the low light. And in terms of low light, definitely the Starmobile Crystal is winner here. Ito, hindi mo na mabasa yung plaque. Dito nababasa mo pa, right? Kahit na medyo, ano na siya, yung parang madumi na siya, noisy na siya. This is still the Crystal is still much better looking than the Starmobile Quest. So, natalo na ni Crystal si Flare S2, natalo niya na si Starmobile Quest. What if we put it up against the Zenfone 5 with a pretty decent camera, and then may Pixel Master Eklat? Matagal na, how long has the show been? Ano oras na? 10:34. 34 minutes na tayo. This is the Starmobile Crystal on the right, Zenfone 5 on the left. Let's look at some of these. Ito yung detail ng cardboard box or whatever box that is. Okay lang. Mas sharper si Crystal a little bit. Dito sa detail. Definitely mas sharper si Crystal. And mababasa mo pa ng konti ito mo nandito. Dito medyo blurred na. Some people, kung ikaw medyo maarte talaga sa camera, some people will say na overly sharpened si Crystal kasi yung may talaga may software na tinataas yung sharpening para mukhang sharp yung shots. But it's all up to the eye of the beholder na lang kung okay sa iyo yung sharpening o hindi. So far okay pa rin yung sharpening ni Crystal para sa akin. And then it's the potted plant or fake plant shot versus Zenfone 5 versus Crystal. Let's go here. I might say the Crystal wins. I think I'm Mas ano mas may parang texture pa dito versus the Zenfone 5. I know medyo masyado, sa totoo lang guys, yung differences na nito is very, very, yung palit na ng palit yung differences. That's why ang hirap ng gumawa ng videos is because sa totoo lang, hindi naman ganun ka-importante na yung quality differences dito. But as you can see, Zenfone 5 versus the Crystal, kahit dito sa dito afternoon shot, malinaw si Crystal, and then low light siya. Medyo blurred blurred na si Zenfone, malinaw pa rin si Crystal. So, kung kayo nagtatanong, ano mas magandang camera? Crystal pa rin versus the Zenfone 5. Imagine that. That's crazy. That's crazy. A dual-core phone from 2013, if I remember correctly. How about the Xiaomi Mi 3? Let's go straight to the low light kasi ayoko na masyadong, talo nga, hindi nga pala. Okay, let's go with the flower na. The flowers here. Here we go, flowers. Okay, Xiaomi Mi 3 versus Starmobile Crystal. Okay. Here we have, dito na siya medyo dito na tayo medyo magpapantay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yan na. So it looks like, dito, yan. The Mi 3 details has more detail na. Makikita mo yung texture na ng plant more than the Starmobile Crystal. Although the Crystal is definitely putting up a very, very good fight. This ano yung part na yun ang gusto ko i-compare. Here we go. Zoom in tayo konti. Ang ganda. Dito. Yan. There we go. Almost comparable, almost similar. Medyo sharp si Crystal dun sa certain leaves dito. But very, very comparable. Si Pineapple, tingnan natin si Pineapple. Yeah, it's very hard to find a winner. I would give the win to the Xiaomi Mi 3 dahil yung certain textures ng plant is mas malinaw pa sa Mi 3. Although dito siguro hindi masyado okay. So dito ko na mabibigay kay Mi 3 kasi parang pinkish na si pinkish na si Crystal. But imagine yung si Crystal lumalaban sa Xiaomi Mi 3 is crazy enough to begin with. I think like man nanalo si Crystal though. So here we go after the shot. Medyo madumi na yung shot ni Mi 3. Then we have a slightly cleaner shot by the Starmobile Crystal. And lastly, low light, medyo mahina na si Xiaomi Mi 3. I think yung software ng Xiaomi Mi 3 hindi design pang low light. That's why dito medyo blurred na siya. And Starmobile Crystal wins over low light. So, in terms of kung i-grade mo yung camera ng Xiaomi Mi 3, I would give it more points good lighting conditions, less points of low light, and then si Starmobile Crystal is pretty high, but not high enough to match the Mi 3's good light, but very, very, very good sa low light. Yun na lang yung natin. Yun na lang yung pwede nating sabihin. And then lastly, we have the comparison between the Starmobile Crystal and the Galaxy S5. Galaxy S5. So dito na, as in cream of the crop versus cheap of the crop. Nako. Hindi ko alam sa napulot si Starmobile. And then naging linaw. So dito lalabas yung reklamo ng some people na this is yung Starmobile Crystal is a little too over sharpened in certain cases. So dito kasi ito yung natural shot na makuha mo out of these, and you can see parang sobrang kinomputerize na yung kuha dito sa kanan ng Starmobile Crystal. But to most people, they prefer yung ganitong kinomputerize na shot over yung medyo blurry. So nasa sa beholder na lang yan kung alin yung mas gusto mo. Obviously, mas zoom din ng konti si Crystal, but overall aesthetics of both shots are very, very good. Ito naman si Bright, Flower, comparison. Dito, I think I'll see Crystal because obviously the Galaxy S5, sobrang ganda ng detail in terms of getting that texture ng flower petals. So, dito talo siya. Dito talo si Crystal. What else do we have? Here we have the afternoon shot. Dito siguro medyo pantay lang eh. I would say, yeah. Okay, so dito medyo maganda yung comparison. So as you can see here, dito talo yung overly sharpened shots. Kasi pag ino-overly sharpen mo yung isang camera, isang picture, nagiging noisier siya, nagiging more dirtier yung shot. And nakikita niyo sa Galaxy S5, malinaw yung papel, malinaw yung shot, malinaw yung wala masyadong noise. But on the Crystal, medyo noisy na siya. But in terms of overall detail of look of the detail, it's very, very comparable. It's just if you ignore the noise, it's almost the same shot. But obviously, must be noisy Crystal because sa overly sharpening nung software niya. Regardless, you're comparing the Starmobile Crystal to a Galaxy S5. So, matindi na yun. matindi na yun, guys. And then this is the low light. And dito makikita nyo talaga kung bakit talaga sobrang over yung sa I don't know what the Starmobile Crystal does. It's actually really good low light or something, but it's also overly sharpened. I think a combination of its possible software and yung over sharpening niya na ma-manage niya yung ganitong shots where malinaw pa talaga lahat ng text dito. While the Galaxy S5 struggles a little bit, mas malinis. So it's at this point, it's up to yung tao na talaga kung ano yung mas gusto mo. Kung gusto mo yung mas malinis or gusto mo yung mas sharp. I think actually, to be honest, I think most people would prefer the sharper shot. And makita nyo naman ano ba dito? Ang liwanag. Maliwanag si Starmobile Crystal. And the Galaxy S5 hindi masyadong maliwanag. But I think yung mga purists sa cameras would say, kasi dinaya na yung Crystal, blah, blah, blah. Still, in terms of getting the shot, the Crystal won this round if only because yung may mga kanday siya. But like I said, ano ba to? I don't want to keep defending ito yung barcode eh. This is mapapansin yung difference ng sharpening sa hindi sharpening. Dito, it looks like peke na yung pixels na nilagay niya dito sa in-between ng barcode. But dito, it looks like nag-blur together lang yung barcode. Doon talaga mapapansin yung sharpening versus sharpening debate. But still, in terms of results, the Starmobile Crystal definitely gets up there in terms of quality and even almost comparable to the Mi3 and the Galaxy S5. That's ridiculous, guys. Maghanap tayo ng mga kalaban ng Crystal talaga. Hindi ko won't get rid of that phone. Anyway, I think I want to do one last comparison. But ano bang mga comments dito? Let's see. Hindi ko in-imagine na ganito kahaba yung video, guys. Sorry, let's see. Best low-light smartphone of the 6 to 9 is the Starmobile Crystal. Yeah, I would agree. Actually, gusto ko siya i-compare next time sa Lumia 1020 and maybe Lumia 830 and magkukuha din tayo ng shots with the Cherry Mobile Selfie and the Cosmos 1, Cosmos 1 Plus. We have here one of the last comparisons ko kasi gusto ko sana i-testing yung Zenfone 5 Quago mode, yung low-light mode ng Zenfone 5. And what I did here is, yun ang the reason, one of the things na hindi kaya ng Galaxy S5 is wala siyang manual controls. The Xiaomi Mi 3 has a bit of manual controls and the Zenfone 5 has that Quago mode, the overly sensitive camera shot. So, ang ginawa ko is I turned off the lights sa kwarto and I took pictures using the Galaxy S5, the Xiaomi Mi 3, and the Zenfone 5, all without lights on. Ang naiiwan na lang light is yung speaker ko dito sa ano. So, makikita nyo, this is the shot of the Zenfone 5 with the Quago mode, the extreme low light mode. This is only 2 megapixels. It's only 1600 by 1900 pixels. 1600 by 900 pixels. So, mababa yung resolution niya, but as you can see, it got the shot. Hindi nga lang masyadong malinaw, but yun yung merits ng Quago mode ng Zenfone 5. But in terms of actually getting low light shot, here is the Xiaomi Mi 3. And ginawa ko dito is inangat ko yung ISO ng Xiaomi Mi 3 to its maximum kasi pwede mag-manual mode si Xiaomi Mi 3. Inangat ko yung ISO ng Xiaomi Mi 3 and then tinaas ko yung exposure niya into 4 seconds. Pinaka-maximum niya is 4 seconds. So, advantage nito is you can get low light shot similar to this but still has 13 megapixel maximum resolution. So makikita dito, I mean, wala na, sa totoo lang wala nang purpose itong comparison na to. It's just that nung time na curious ako kung maganda ng Quago mode and kung pwede bang tapatan ng Xiaomi yung Quago mode. Kasi syempre, di ba si Asus pinagyayabang see what others can't see, use the low light mode for low light shots, blah, blah, blah. So actually, kaya ni Xiaomi Mi 3 yun. And actually, it treats a lot of detail and retains the 13 megapixel resolution over the 2 megapixel resolution ng Quago mode. Sa totoo lang, wala namang gagamit nito eh. Sa totoo lang. And ang ano dyan, ang kakaibahan, ang pinaka-ano lang talaga dyan, talo ng S5 is walang manual mode si Galaxy S5. Hindi mo pwedeng iset yung ISO, hindi mo pwedeng iset yung, ang tag dito? I think pwede mo iset yung ISO, yung exposure setting niya, hindi mo pwede extend yung exposure, blah, 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 etc. So, ang result lang ng Galaxy S5 without anything changed, automatic pa rin, halos ISO lang binago ko is madilim talaga, plus yung ilaw nitong, yung speakers ko yung lumitaw. So, yun lang yung ano doon, yun lang yung parang comparison doon. What does the Zenfone 5 Quago mode do and what can it do? And can other phones do the same? And yes, other phones can definitely do the same. It's just that kailangan mo ng manual camera. So, yun ang ano. I don't know kung anong moral of the story, hindi ko alam. I don't know what the moral of the story is. So, I think let's grade the cameras na lang. So, number 1, the Galaxy S5, I would give the Galaxy S5 9 out of 10 points. For being one of the best cameras out there, just ang kulang niya lang is wala siyang optical image stabilization. Sobrang ganda ng, I mean, one of the, hindi na ako, I don't want a phone that has no optical image stabilization. Sobrang ano kasi, importante sa akin yun, especially since nagvi-video, gumagawa tayo ng video for YouTube. Pero maganda yung camera shots ng S5, sobrang ganda. That I would give it 9 out of 10 points. The Xiaomi Mi 3, probably around 7.5 or 8 points. Ang talo ng Xiaomi Mi 3 is low light. Sobrang hindi masyadong kuha ng Mi 3 yung low light. Nagno-noisy na siya. As you can see here. And so the Xiaomi Mi 3 is mga 7.5 or 8 points. Let's give it 8 points. Zenfone 5, 6.5 points. 6.5. Then pa ba tayo dito? So the Quest is, I might give it maybe 5 or 4. Flare S2 is very tricky, no? Kasi sobrang dilim niya eh. What the heck? Bakit kasi madilim? Let's give it a tie. I think, ilan yung binigay ko sa Quest? 5? Para silang 5. And the Crystal, I might even give it up to 8 points. Dito sa comparisons natin. It's very, very, very competent. Ang natatalo mo lang sa Crystal is ang bagal na nung dual core na lang siya. But very, very good. In some cases, the Crystal even beats the Xiaomi Mi 3, surprisingly. Dito sa mga bright shots, panalo yung Xiaomi. But when it comes to low light, wala na yung Crystal talaga. It's crazy. It's amazing how the Crystal manages to get these shots. Wala pong daya ito ha. Lahat po 8 megapixels or lahat yung maximum resolution. Lahat sila naka-tripod. Wala akong dinaya. Wala akong binago. So, yun. So that's our grade. I would give the S5 9 points. The Crystal maybe 8 points. 7.5 for Mi 3. Mababa na yung iba. So, yung just in case po na interest kayo sa malinaw na camera, the Mi 3, the Zenfone is pretty good. Starmobile Crystal, hindi ko na marirecommend kasi sobrang luma na niya. But yun, so that's our, yun ang ating comparison for today. I don't know kung may may nakuha kayong aral or may natuwa kayo sa information na binigay natin sa inyo, please do let me know kung gusto niyo pa ng ganito pa mga comparisons, and we'll do more talaga. Kasi ang ano ko talaga is gusto ko malaman ng tao kung ano yung mas magandang kuha. Kasi marami pa rin tao hindi nila alam kung ano yung magandang kuha. Marami sa tao bibili ng my phone, sasabihin, ganda ng kuha ko guys, tignan mo, kinlose up ko yung yung 5 piso, ang ganda ng kuha ng 5 piso. They don't actually know that lahat ng picture, lahat ng phone, kumuha ka ng picture ng close-up na maganda yung ilaw, maganda pa rin yung Hindi naman papangit yung kuha, di ba? Wala namang ganun eh. But in terms of talagang comparing high quality, low light shots, doon mo malalaman kung ano yung mas magandang camera talaga. But yun, so hopefully medyo ma-educate yung mga tao in terms of camera qualities kahit pa paano. Educate kayo. If you have questions or kung gusto nyo make curious kayo kung ano yung mas magandang kuha, let me know. We'll try to compare them all. I'll try to do tripods again. Matrabaho siya. Sobrang matrabaho na magsa-setup. Charge mo yung 5 telepono. 6 na telepono, isipin mo yan. May hawak kong 6 na telepono, chinarge ko silang lahat para hindi malobat. Sineting ko yung lahat ng auto nila para sigurado tayo. And then tripod, 6 na beses. Tapos lilipat ka ako ng pwesto. Tripod, 6 na beses. So, matrabaho siya, pero if you want, if you're interested talaga, we'll do more. Ako personally curious ako because I want good cameras. Minsan talaga may mga tao talaga hindi nila talaga alam na malinaw, pangit yung kuha nila. Yung hindi lang talaga nila alam kung ano yung mas maganda. And sometimes hindi ganun ka-importante na malaman ng tao. It's just, if you want to know though, this is gonna be the show for it. Anyway, let's see, ano ba mga comments dito? Starmobile Crystal versus Xiaomi Mi3, Sir Alex, and Crystal versus Galaxy S5. Well, ginawa na natin yun. Sabi ni, tanong yun ni Tony Khalifa. Reynolds Zada, best low light smartphone of the 6 tonight is the Crystal. Reynolds Zada Lumia 1020 and 830 has pure view ba, Sir Alex? Yes, 830 has pure view. Medyo maganda yung 830. Talo na yata niyan si Crystal. Well, actually, I'll show you the difference. Kasi sobrang yun na nga eh, kasi sobrang sharpened nga ni Crystal. You'll see the difference actually, kind of interesting. Tony Khalifa says, Sir Alex, na-try mo na ba yung bagong, Sir Alex, try mo yung mga bagong review mo. Sony Xperia, LG, wala akong LG, sir. Wala akong LG phone. Chermobile Selfie, Chermobile OnePlus, versus Crystal pa rin, obviously. Hindi natin natanggalin si Crystal. Next selfie show mo. Yes. So once I have the time, i-charge ko yung Cosmos 1, i-charge ko yung Cosmos 1 Plus, i-charge ko yung Crystal, the Xperia Z3, and then isasama pa rin natin si Galaxy S5 as long as possible. And ano ba yung mga telepono ko dito? And yun, we are going to compare them on the next selfie show. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Pasensya na. This not hindi ko siya masyadong dine-design as a live show. Pero thank you sa pagpapanood, and syempre may interaction pa rin since live pa rin yung production ng video. Anyway, masyado na mahaba yung show. It's mag-1 oras na. Salamat sa pagpapanood. And thanks very much for watching. And wala pa tayong schedule for the next selfie show. Gagawin ko muna yung tripod setup ko for the next few phones na testing natin. But keep up to date with sa Big Time Show community. Salamat sa pagpapanood, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Wala yung yan. Okay. Akala ko ano lang tayo, mga 15 minutes. I-clear ko yung mga comparison next time if you can do that para hindi tayo masyadong. I mean, I don't know kung gusto niyo mahaba, but anyway, bye-bye.